Hello, everyone. Today I'm with Cam Brown. He's at UC Merced basketball committee. Went to Bishop O'Dowd High School. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. It means a lot for you to reach out. As much as you think it means to get a response, it means the world for me for you to interview me. So
Thank,
appreciate you for having me.
thank you. I'll start with my first question. How old are you when you started playing basketball?
I want to say 3 years old. Most people would say like on the Fisher Price goal that you would get. My parents guided that for me. I think when I was really, really young, when I was probably 1 or 2, but didn't really start playing with it till I was 3. My cousin, he played at North Carolina. So my dad would go out there and watch him, and I'll see it on the game on the TV. So I always have a ball with me. So basketball has been part of my life since I was young. My dad played, cousins, uncles. So been connected to the game since I was a young kid.
So it's always been a sport that's always been around you and like your
For sure.
family.
For sure. It's always been around me one way or another.
That's cool that your cousin played for North Carolina.
Yeah. What he did was at the time I didn't realize how big that is, but now seeing growing up, seeing from a kid from NorCal going to that powerhouse and how big that is, it's something special what he did. And just talking with him every day about things he went through is having those people come before you means a lot for them to pass down the knowledge so it won't be as hard as for me to adjust to the college life.
Getting the experience from someone who played at a top end program.
For sure, for sure.
Did you play any other sports?
I did. Actually, in high school, I played water polo for 2 years. Coming into ninth grade, I was pretty chubby, out of shape. I came off a broken wrist, so water polo was a chance to just get in shape. I always swam, but I played mostly every sport: soccer, baseball when I was a kid, but basketball was the one I loved the most. But in high school, I played water polo freshman and sophomore year just to get in shape. I didn't really enjoy it off the bat. It was mostly my dad who pushed me to do it, but looking back on it, it was enjoyable. I just don't really like swimming that much, but throwing the ball into the net is what made it fun for me.
So you did like almost every sport, like basketball is always the main and
For
the
sure.
water polo, which helped you get in
Yeah,
shape.
for sure. Yeah, water polo, that's a different beast for just swimming and treading water is a great thing. Like when you see pros talk about doing pool workouts like that, that in itself gets you into a whole nother different level of shape, playing water polo and then translating it to the basketball court.
So it can help like almost any athlete, like because you can get in shape like that.
For sure. And it's low maintenance, meaning like it's not a lot of pounding on your legs since you're swimming. So like a lot of other sports, there's a lot of endurance and you tire yourself out, but it's just building up your lung capacity and it's not pounding on your legs, which is the most important part for it.
Yeah, it can help a lot and not
For
wearing you down that much on the legs.
hmm
What was it like playing for Bishop O'Dowd, where it's a top high school basketball program?
it was amazing. I'd say the 4 years it was tough at the beginning. I came in, as I said, a little chunky, out of shape. I wasn't known to most people, so it wasn't like I was like that guy at O'Dowd off rip. Like I had Monty, Jalen, Marcellus, all those top guys that most people know. They was all before me, and it was stressful. It was a lot of tears, pain at the beginning, just adjusting to everything. Like O'Dowd treats you like a college player, and I thank them for that, getting me prepared. But as time grow went on, I just kept working and working and slowly build up my not status, but build up who I was as a player and just staying in the gym with them. I think that helped me the most because I played every level, freshman, JV, and varsity. And I think my process at O'Dowd was nothing I could ask for something else. Like especially my senior year, coming off of what we did as a team, just those guys that I've built, like the O'Dowd program is like a family. Like I can reach out to, like I said, the Montes, Marcellus, Jalen's Wills, all those guys, and they always look out for me, always get back to me. And the guys that's on the team now, I consider those guys family more than brothers. I still talk to them to this day, and I'll forever being grateful with them. And the coaches, they treat you like family too. Lou and Banny and Dante and El, all those guys that you see on the bench in our games, I can reach out to them with anything. They'll always give give me advice or just give me whatever I need. So they treat you like a family. It was an adjustment, as I said, but playing at O'Dowd was the best 4 years of my life. I couldn't ask for nothing else. So I really enjoyed my time up playing high school basketball.
So it's just a great experience, and the way they push you like a college basketball player, and it's like a family there, the whole team.
For sure, for sure. We're gonna do everything together, even through the pain, through the suffering. We all stick together. So I love those about those guys, and anybody that's coming to O'Dowd, it's a family environment. They're gonna push you to your limits, even when you don't want to be pushed. But at the end, they know what it takes to accomplish winning and state championships and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, they treat you more than a basketball player, which I like the most. Like Lou and all them guys, they always reach out, making sure that I'm straight beyond the basketball court, which is something that's important. Not just being seen as somebody that can put the ball into the hoop, but I'm a human being at the end of the day. So having that connection with them is something that I cherish more than anything I did or we did on the basketball court.
They keep it like they care about you. It's not just basketball. They care about deeper than that.
For sure. That's why I loved it.
What was one of the most important things you learned from high school basketball?
I think just living in the moment, especially with COVID, playing every game like it's your last. Because we went to Vegas for the Tarkanian Classic, and that's when our team got a major COVID outbreak on our final game. The morning of, some of our players tested positive, and we didn't get to play that game. And I asked the coaches, was that my last game of high school? And they said, I don't know. Like, not a final answer. So just playing every game like your last, especially during these times with COVID and how fast things can shut down like that, because you never want to go out and think I didn't do enough. I also say having fun with it. I think sometimes, especially in the beginning, I put too much stress on myself. Like, you have 4 years to grow as a player and just having fun with it. Because high school basketball, there's politics, but it's not like college politics where there's more to things. There's more money in it. So things tend to change a little bit different when you get to college. So just having fun with it and understand that things might not always go your way, but just keep working and just enjoy the process. Like my coaches always say, enjoy the struggle. Because I don't think, even when I was working hard or being in the gym, sometimes I didn't enjoy it as much. And I'll go back to my high school days. I'm saying it like it wasn't just a couple months ago, but I'll go back for that, for anything. I'll go back to Lou yelling at me or doing anything, even the things that I didn't like people were doing. I loved it so much that I would go back to it. So just living in the moment and having fun with it. Because at the end of the day, it's a game. So I know it can be a lot of stressful, a lot of emotions with it. But at the end of the day, just do it because you love it, not because of things you can get out of it. Just play the game because you love it and live in the moment and play every game like it's your last. Is things I've learned in high school.
So just enjoy it and make the moment of every game, every practice, all the opportunities you get.
For sure. And just working hard, because it doesn't matter where you start. Like I said, most people wouldn't come from freshman to being one of the main guys at O'Dowd, because coming in, you wouldn't, if you didn't work hard, you wouldn't have made it. And most of our last year's team was a bunch of freshman guys and JV guys. Like there was only one player that played varsity every single year, and he started off on JV at the first half of his freshman year. So like all of us worked hard. We understand that. So just working hard. Like you don't have to go into high school. Like I know how big it is now with mixtapes and kids being ranked in 8th grade and going into 9th grade. Like I would stress yourself out, especially coming into high school, because I remember some of the kids that were ranked in the Bay Area coming out of 8th grade and not being quote unquote what they said they were supposed to be from this website or that website. So just at the end of the day, just work your behind off, and the work will always show at the end of the day. So don't worry about what this person is doing or what that person is doing. Just worry about what you got going on and work as much as you can to achieve what you want to achieve.
So just working because it doesn't matter what anyone, how many stars or what
Right.
website, how high they're ranked.
Right. Just work. And don't worry about what he has going on or what she has going on. Because if you start worrying about what other people, you're going to lose sight of what you want to focus on. And I know that's easier said than done, but once you get that, I'm slowly starting to get that, because at the beginning, especially freshman, sophomore year, I would worry too much about what this person was saying about this place, what this person was saying about this player. It wasn't talking about me. It's like if you just forget all that and just work, I guarantee you it'll show as time goes on, especially if that person gets too big headed when people keep saying, "Oh, you the best," or that, and they slowly stop working, and you continue to working. Um, and then that thing, just staying level headed, even if you come in as a star or if you end as a star. Like I always have people in my ear keeping me level headed, and I've had times where I would get, I would think not like that, but I would have people that were in my ear, just making sure I was staying level headed, no matter what I accomplished in high school, or what I didn't accomplish in high school. Just always never being too low and never being too high, just being even kill, because it can come and go as it please. So just always staying level headed and working.
So make sure you're not too high or too low and that you're focused.
Right.
What was the playoff environment like?
Playoffs was crazy. Um, it was something that I always dreamed of. My other cousin, she played at Cal, and this is when Odell's women's was going back to back on those state championships, and they played at Berkeley for that. And I remember leaving school early and going to the game and thinking like, one day I want to play at Bishop O'Dowd and be in this environment, like having that many people come to watch my games. And it was the best feeling, especially with the guys I've had on my team, because like I said, we've all been close together for those 4 years, and playing with them up under those spotlight and just hooping with each other and playing in front of our friends, families. It was a crazy experience. Sometimes stressful, especially going into other people's gyms, but by the game start, I'd always be calm. Like I always meditate before games to chill my nerves, to get me in the right state of mind. So, I mean, playoffs is what everybody wants in high school basketball. That's where you make or break them, make a name for yourself, really. But I love playoffs. The environments are always crazy. People talking crazy to you on the sideline. Like I feed off of that, and I enjoy it. Um, like I said, I'll do anything to go back to those games, even like the games we lost, like losing in Clayton Valley. That was hard. Um, they were a good team. Played well together. The crowd there was crazy. Having the student section right behind where we were shooting during free throws. They were crazy, saying some crazy stuff, but it was all respect. But I love those environments. Vanden, like even the games we lost, I still loved every moment with them. And playing in playoffs is always crazy, especially in the Bay Area, because basketball is big out here. So people will hear about you from anywhere. So it was a great experience. And even like non-playoff games, like playing against Piedmont or Moreau, like those games are always big because of like rivalry games, especially Piedmont. Those beating Piedmont, shout out to JoJo and AJ and all those guys. But playing Piedmont and playing Moreau and all those big name schools that have rivalries are always great games to go to. And like you feed off each other's energy, because everybody's going to be playing their behinds off and trying to go at each other. So it's not any weak play, or everybody's just going at each other. So I love that apart, besides playoffs. But those rivalry games and playoffs are always great games.
So it's a great environment. Like people just all coming to watch you play, and it makes your moment like people get to witness what you do.
For sure, for sure. I mean, it could be daunting at times. I remember junior year when it wasn't really playoffs, but like those big games because of COVID. Um, First time was real daunting, especially with all those people looking at you like you don't want to make a mistake, and you have a shorter leash when you first coming onto the team. But just playing free and calming yourself down always helped, especially in those big time games. Because when you're nervous, that's when you're gonna make most of your mistakes, rather than just playing free and not thinking about who's looking at you, just playing the game and not worried about your environment really.
Yeah, just playing your hardest and not worrying about what other people are saying, like the fans.
Right, for sure.
What was your most memorable moment in your career?
Hmm. Probably just committing. Um, I knew I was going to commit and play college basketball from freshman year, but not many people thought I was. From where I came from, they didn't think that that was going to go hand in hand, especially what I did senior year. Like, or all glory to the man up above, God, for the abilities, just my parents and working out and them getting me places where I needed to get to, but really making a name for myself senior year from being all Metro, MVP, making an all Bay Area team. Like, not a lot of people do that from coming from a freshman team, coming to a powerhouse like O'Dowd. But I'll just say those accomplishments, seeing how far we made it in both semifinals and our state in section and state, because we got blown out to Endercom at the beginning of the year by 30 in front of everybody, and everybody was saying like, "Oh, it's gonna be O'Dowd's off year," and just us coming together as a brotherhood and competing and making it as far as we did. I say that's probably the most important accomplishment because I shared that moment with my teammates. Like all the individual accolades came because we won so much. Like if we didn't win as much as we did, I probably can't be on this interview with you or having those accolades that I did. So giving all the thanks and praise to my teammates is what is most important to me. And making it as far as I did with those guys was the best thing I could have asked for. So that was probably my biggest accomplishment, was sharing those special moments with my teammates.
So getting to do all your accomplishments with your teammates, playing together, like chemistry, which
For
what
sure.
helped you get to where you are today. So that
Right.
makes it special.
Yeah. Especially because it's not like tennis or an individual sport. Like you're gonna need those guys no matter what accolades you get personally, you had to do it with your teammates. So I give them all the praise and thanks for all that stuff that they were able to help me accomplish, and just being by my side through ups and downs and thick and thin, and just being there with me through every step of the way. I couldn't ask for nothing better from them.
What made you pick UC Merced?
I think just Coach Bam just showed love to me from the jump. He was one of the very first schools to offer me around my junior summer before I really popped off. And I always had that in the back of my mind. And just the community up there, they always show love to me from the beginning. And I wanted to go somewhere like how O'Dowd treated me like more than a basketball player. Coach Fam on my visit didn't really talk basketball with me. He asked me about me, and I love that about him because it showed like he cared about me more than basketball. Cause like college, you're gonna have like in high school, you're gonna have a sprained ankle, you're gonna hurt something. So I want you to still check up on me like I'm still playing, even if I'm not actually playing, if that makes sense. Like you
Yeah.
looking out for me, even if I'm not playing for you. Cause at the end of the day, basketball is not going to always be there. And it may not, God forbid, not always be there for me in college. Come with injuries, like I said, or whatever circumstance goes through. I want somebody to be there for me, regardless of what I'm doing. And Coach Fam always reassured me through everything that he wanted me and just always checking up on me, and his coaching staff, Coach Mo, Coach Jones, always looking out for me and the players. I think that just the community and family that I felt at Odell, I felt like I got that at Merced. And even though it's not like around a lot of places, it gives me a chance to focus. Like the school, if you look at it, it's in the middle of nowhere practically. And most people, when I tell them that, they're like, why would you do that? It's like, it gives me a chance to focus. Like at the end of the day, I want to be a pro. Like I want to get paid to play the game of basketball. And having all that outside noise could be distracted, especially in college with all that independence. Like you don't have your parents there to say, no, you can't go out or you can't do this. And just having a place where I'm focused and a place that I'm loved most of all. So the love that Coach Fam showed me was undeniable. And just thanking all the other coaches that recruited me was more important too. But Coach Fam just showed that he really loved me. I felt at home when I was there.
So you knew that he was going to care for you, even if you weren't playing basketball, if you're injured. And you
Right,
know, they always believed in you being one of the first to offer you.
right. Just the love more than basketball was more important to me because I knew the basketball part was going to take care of itself, but I still want to be treated well, doing, even if I'm not performing the way I should be, or just having a slump in games because it's gonna happen to everybody. But you just looking out for me like I'm one of yours. So Coach Fam always show that. So I thank him and just ready to get it started up there.
What are your goals at UC Merced?
To win a state champ, win a championship, really. I didn't get to do it in high school, so I know I want to get 4. We were so close at Odell, just 2 games away in each of them. And that's the main goal is winning a championship there at Merced, especially because it's such a newer program. And I think because Coach Fam started as a women coach, I think he won. No, he actually won one with the boys too, but I want to win 4 championships at Merced back to back to back to back. And just go down as one of like a Hall of Famer there. Like I have individual accomplishments and everybody does going into it, but just doing everything I can to give Coach Fam and just leaving there with a lot of championships is the most important because I didn't talking with everybody that's won state championships in high school and how special that is to them. I want that. I want to have that same feeling, and I wasn't able to do that in high school, so I want to maximize my abilities by getting those championships at Merced.
So you want to go 4 in 4 years and leave your legacy and go down as the greats at UC Merced.
For sure.
What do you think will be the biggest jump in going from high school basketball to college?
I think there's a couple things, just the physicality one, because in high school it's easy to move. Like I'm considered a bigger dude in high school where it's easy to move kids and manipulate, but these are like grown men that I'm playing against, and I'm already experienced that now. Play with college players, play with people that play from overseas. Like you can't do the same moves you do in a high school with a pro because they're just more mature with mentality in their body. So just the physicality, the little things like the difference in 3-point line is way different from high school, especially because they've made such a bigger jump with it in the past couple of years. Just the ability to shoot it, especially in today's game, like you're gonna you're gonna have to be able to shoot the ball at a high clip, especially in my position. So just that jump and the mental ability from college, because I think it's more of a business than high school. Like high school, you playing for fun. Like a coach is not gonna lose his job within a week or so. Like talking with people that's had like a coach for 1 year and then keep changing, is like it's more of a business and just knowing your abilities and not always what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word, but I'm trying to say like coaches will always tell you things, but that may not always be true. I don't just always knowing what you're worth is what I'm trying to say. Knowing what you work and knowing what's the best position for you is always an adjustment. Because high school coaches, they're going to be there for you regardless. Because it doesn't matter how much they win or lose, they're going to still have their job. But in college, it's a different type of game. Like they have to win to keep their job. So just doing everything you can and just the mental state of college, the ups and downs, how much it can break people and how much it can make people grow, I think is way daunting than high school. And just realizing that you're not going to be the big dog coming out. Like everybody on the team was their best player at their high school. So it's not like you going to come in and be that guy. Like you might, and more power to you, but like you're coming in and people at the college already are not going to just say, here's my spot. Like these are people that want to play too and want to take it far in life if they want to. So just realizing that you got to compete and realizing like now somebody told me it's like restarting when you were a freshman in high school. Like they don't care what you did in high school. It doesn't matter what you did in high school. It's like a resume. Every single day, you got to prove to everybody that you're the best player. And realizing that nothing's going to be given to you is some of the biggest adjustment, especially now, because I feel it talking with people. And at the beginning, coming out of high school, I'm thinking, okay, it's going to be a breeze. I was the top player out of Dow. I'm going to go to Merced, but it's like going there, everybody's the top player. Every recruit was a top player at their high school. So just competing and the mental state and just everything I said. I know I said a lot, but the competing, mental state, physicality, and just realizing what you're worth is always the biggest adjustments for me, I think, from high school to college.
So knowing that you can restarting, you have to prove yourself again and playing against all those guys who are like the best at their high school.
Right.
Gotta be right. And then the little things too, like you said, like the 3-point line. I know what you mean. Like we have another gym where we don't play our games in, but we practice there sometimes for JV, and it's like so far back it feels like
Right.
for 3.
Yeah, it's like when I first started working on it, it was airball, because like you're not used to the strength in the weight room is such a big thing, especially from that college jump, because everybody is your weight or bigger or your bounce level or higher. So just putting in your hours as much as you do in the gym, in the weight room as well, because the physicality, if you can move people and manipulate people the way you want to physically, it's way easier to get your shot off or play defense rather than thinking you're strong enough already because you were one of the biggest guys in high school.
Yeah, you can't, because they're all going to be strong too. It's the next level.
For sure.
Lifting and everything.
Yeah, they always are going to be coming in, they're going to be stronger, but just building yourself up so that you can say that you worked hard enough for it.
How would you describe yourself off the court?
I think I'm off the court. I'm just a cool, quiet. I hang out with friends, love my family. Just a reserved kid. I mean, I'll go out. I'm always around people, but I also like my alone time. So like an extrovert, but I'm not afraid to be alone by myself type is like just being around myself and getting to know myself is important to me, especially now with mental health and just figuring out where I'm at mentally is always big. Like I said, meditating and making sure my mind's right. But off the court, I love hanging out with my friends and family. I always love to go to the movies or mini golf, but just somebody I like, even though I'm known to play basketball, most of the time I don't tell people that I play basketball because most people see that I'm 6'2", 6'3", so they automatically assume that I play basketball. So I like to tell people things like when people say, "What sport do you play?" I say I play water polo because most people would already assume that I play the game of basketball. So just showing that there's more to me than just a basketball player. Like I play the piano, I swim, I draw, and just expanding those different passions that I have in my life more than basketball. Because I know one day, as I said, the ball's gonna stop. So I don't want to just be figuring out, oh, what am I going to do with my life after that ball stops? So figuring out what I like to do now, but just a cool kid, somebody that you can always talk to, always friendly, never negative, just somebody that will uplift you even if you're having a bad day. I just living off of that, just being the light in the world because there's a lot of darkness with whatever you got going on. So just bringing somebody a smile to their face every single day is something I like to do because I know it might not mean a lot to me, but it might mean a lot to that person no matter what they're going through. So just checking up on people and just a cool dude in general.
Like a cool person, someone that people like to be around.
Right.
Like you're not just basketball, you have a lot of stuff that you do.
Right.
And making people like happy.
For sure.
And then the last question I have is for fun. You get to take any 3 NBA players to dinner. They can be past or present. Who are you taking?
LeBron, for sure, number one. I've always loved LeBron. Like, even when the Warriors would always go back with LeBron, even though I'm a Warriors fan, like I would root for LeBron to win most of the time, but LeBron won. I say Curry just because from the Bay, what he's done, especially just hearing his story from coming from, like I said, from nothing, not really being known in high school to being known as somebody that's changed the game for basketball for the rest of the game. So, and then I would say Katie, and just talking to them about their different things on and off the court, just learning from them, like having a conversation with them is something that I would want to do, especially over dinner, especially with Katie, just the way he can score at ease and how easy he makes it look. Just picking their brain with anything and everything.
Yeah, you get a lot of experience. All of them have rings, and
sure,
it'd be cool stories to hear.
Right, just hearing more than basketball, the business side of it too. They all respectable and in that field as well, and just picking their brain with everything.
You get a lot of stuff that'll help you, information.
Right.
All right, thank you for taking the time to join me today.
I appreciate you for having me.
Anytime.